and basics come next. That's shadow boxing. But we're going to pick that up today too, and give you some different ideas of movement, incorporating defense as well. So you, as an orthodox fighter, you'll stand with your left hand forward, step out forward with your left foot. You want to have your hips forward here, and keep your heels out from under you so that you're shifting on the ball of your feet, and your elbows can rest. And just like the jump rope, shake right down into the hip. The hip precedes the blow, right? So that's like putting the bullet in the chamber. You want to have your fist eye level here, but not facing you, right? You want to have the pinky sort of facing forward, ready to slide forward on that straight line, on your eye line with the jab. And the right's like answering a phone. It's in the hip pocket, most of your weight's in the back. You're talking on the phone here. And then when you're throwing the right hand, it's going to tip straight forward. So you don't get to throw that hand until you bring your leverage point forward. That's what the jab is for. The jab's the first and last punch in boxing. It's triggered by that right toe. You're going to push off with the right toe, step into the left toe, so step forward, that drops your weight. At that time, your left hip rotates, throws your left elbow, and that's where it falls straight forward. It's very important that you turn the thumb down so the elbow goes from in to up on impact, and then you bring it back by stepping in and returning your weight to the right. So there's two steps. The first step that throws, the second step that returns the jab. 1, 2. Go ahead and try it. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. That's steps. Reach, slide backwards. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2 jabs forward is 4 steps. Reach and slide backwards. Guard up. And each time, you shouldn't have to make the punch happen. It should flick off your body like the jump rope. Make sure you're turning it over. Nice and straight line. You get to look down that line. So once you sight them, right, in your first 2 knuckles down that scope, then you've brought your leverage point in and reset your weight to the right side. So you can throw that weight through your punch, right, a right hand punch. They call it a right cross sometimes, but that doesn't mean you come across your body. You want it to be a nice straight punch as well, but with your body weight behind it, and your weight shifts across from the right to the left. Your weight starts on the right if you finish the jab correctly, and then it comes across, it shifts across your body and back to the right. So throw the right hand with your body, bring it back with your body. Try a couple more right hands. Throw with your body. Turn that heel on the right, pivot on the right toe. That drops the hip forward, sends the right elbow, the hip sends the right elbow. And you want to towel snap that. So you bring it back with your body like a towel snap. Let's try 2 jabs forward and then the right hand. 4 steps. That right hand, reach and slide back to position. Guard up. This is a good line work. It's called, it's a good example. Forward, backward, straight punches, and you can involve angles eventually. We're also going to do squares real quick before I make that a more applicable function, which is going to be the squared circle. A little bit of science dropping on you. So for squares, I want you to also drop your weight. That'll do 2 things. Move your foot base, right? Load your punches and relocate you to your center. So A boxer who's on balance most often has most of his range or her range of tools available. If you're off balance, you have to bring yourself back to balance before you can make any defensive, offensive choice. So let's go 2 steps to the left. That's the left foot first. 2 steps backwards. That's the right foot first. That way, if we equally close the distance, we stay on balance, move our head, shift our weight through the movement. This can seamlessly turn into punching and moving, which is a bit of the point today. Keep shifting like a hockey skater. To the right, 2 steps, forward 2 steps, left 2 steps, backwards 2 steps. Keep shifting, dropping weight. We're going to start adding punches here. Forward with a jab, to the left with a jab. Backwards 2 steps, squat, throw that right hand. Keep shifting, squat, throw that right hand. Squat, throw that right hand. Make those little adjustments for yourself. Jab forward, jab to the left, keep the hip behind the blow. Backwards, to the right, squat, throw that right hand. Forward with a jab. Keep shifting. To the left with a jab. Backwards 2 steps. Squat. Throw that right hand. The squat will help you make sure that you're moving your feet equally. Squat. Throw that right hand. Forward with a jab. To the left 2 steps. Backwards 2 steps. Squat. Throw that right hand. One more, squat, throw that right hand. So that should be a good punch and body engagement start, your squares. Very important to connect to those elements, the jab, your stance balance, right? And then head movement, and more will come from there. I almost can't help it at this point, and if you're incorporating other punches, you won't be able to either. Your body will want more. Once you start and feel unbalanced, you can begin shadow boxing a little bit more realistically by incorporating those elements. So, we're going to take this to get some water here. Be right back. That's our minute break. This line, by chalk, is going to be the distance line between me and my opponent. I'm going to take that sloshing square movement, but move it a little bit faster, forward and backwards, closing the distance and incorporating the punches at the same time. So from one side of the line, and you can use a rope too, I'm going to jump forward, bring my whole body space forward, both feet equally forward. And as I'm coming back, I push off with the left foot pretty heavy to move backwards. Don't let the feet come together. Keep bouncing to the right, with the jab, and to the left. Coming over that line, letting your arm just sort of spring forward for the punch. Turn that punch over. Halfway through, we're going to have the right hand. Boxing is one of the only sports that incorporates all of your different metabolic systems in high-intensity interval training. Because halfway, so land that right. mix that up 30 seconds. 30 seconds with little slalom jumps, which help you wire that dropping movement, okay? Sip of water here, and we're taking those straight lines to squares. Oh no, where did I put my chalk?
Right by the rope.
Thank you. So that's some chalk here. I'm going to make this into a square. This is my little wedge of the square, right? And I'm going to have to move around my opponent in the middle of the square. So we're going to take that square footwork to keep aligning with a different wedge, right? Same right foot moves first, going right, and then therefore the weight needs to drop onto the left in order to push off like a skater lunge. Keep facing the center, aligning with a new like pie slice. Keep stepping to the right by loading the left foot, loading the left quad, and shifting on this angle. I still want to step equally and regain my balance point where I can throw punches from. A good rule of thumb, punch right. Now my weight's on the left, which it used to be to go to the right. Move right. Then I can punch right again. So we're going to throw right hand, left hook, right hand, move to the right. Right hand, left hook, right hand, move to the right. So rocking with it, shifting by dropping. Drop that weight. You'll actually move faster than picking it up. Keep going to the right. Takes a big left foot push up, just like on the rope. Let's go to the left. Left hook. Step. Pivot. Right hand, left hook. So, left hook, right hand, left hook. Step. Pivot. Left hook, right hand, left hook. Step. Pivot. This way, you're incorporating your movement with your punches. Let's take a break to stretch your hamstrings. We'll do a little bit more of that and turn it into shadow boxing real quick. Before I grab the tire, that was before I grab my tire, which you might not have a tire, just like I do hanging around. Grab a little water. We're going to start to the left and do one more set of your angles, which is the squares set to a circle, right? So, starting to the left again. This is my opponent. I can't step directly into them, but I do want to step forward equally in order to be able to pivot. Step in, pivot, step around, realigning, step around. That's already a left hook. Step around, Right hand, left hook. Right hand, left hook. Step around. Drop your weight. Step around. Step around. Let's go back to the right. With that right hand, step. Right? Pivot on the left. The right moves around to realign. So it's like your compass pin is here, and you're drawing that circle, the square circle, with the left, with the right. The compass pin is the left, and the right angle. Sit down to get that push off and the torque. See how that loads your next punch. Let's go back to the left. Keep shifting. Back to the right. This should get you shadow boxing freely in a realistic way. Programming to move to the right and to the left. Same movement as the square. You're going to load or push off. Your balance point remains intact. You can kind of realign with the little spokes on the wheel each time. Dropping away. Keep shifting. Let it kind of flow from here. You're just putting those elements together to familiarize your body with more live movement. It'll take you 6 to 9 months to get in the ring from just those square movements and the bounce and the shuffle. Stick with that program, but I want to give you some other tools to play around with